What's good, you guys? Frost here. I know it's been about maybe 2 weeks since I ever uploaded a video or just XDefiant, but I've been having a pretty busy work week. And originally I had a video idea about kind of just going over maybe keyboard and mouse input and controller input on XD, but I figured I'd just can it because I feel like people hear the same siren song every single time. I kind of already know how I stand on that type of shit, so anyways, we're gonna play some XDefiant. I want to talk about something crucial because I feel like people are kind of just saying like this game is just kind of dying or just dead, and just all over the place basically, and how people aren't really watching it or blah blah this and blah that. Honestly, I could probably understand and like see exactly where people are coming from and how they feel about the subject, because you know a lot of people like myself, I actually do like XDefiant and I do like playing it from time to time. And yeah, sure, I do get bored from time to time, but I don't get bored to the point where it's like, oh, maybe I use the same weapon or anything like that. It's more or less I'm kind of just using a variety of stuff. Speaking of weapons, I really highly suggest y'all to use the MDR if you have not already. This is the build I use for KBM. I don't know if there's a controller build or anything like that, but I figured barrel extender, and then heavy barrel also reduces its TTK down to 0.35, and that is a consistent 0.35. If you have anything like rapid fire or anything like that, it'll be like a 0.37 to 0.35. It's going to be very inconsistent, and then that means you're going to have to land a lot more shots. You're going to be bleeding through ammo. So this most likely kind of just helps it be the most consistent it can be in the given sense. And I'm really liking it. I do love guns with consistent skill gaps, unlike shit like maybe the fucking ACR. The only reason why I use the ACR is because of the power wash skin. That shit's pretty clean. But I do want to talk about stuff that is coming up, and everybody knows that the end of this month is coming up really, really, really shortly. So basically, we're going to have the next map drop. I suggest that they just drop Daytona. I'm not sure if Daytona is a escort map. I think it is. I don't remember. I was hoping that it would be like a regular, like just 6v6 regular TDM and stuff like that S map. But if it is an escort map and stuff like that, I mean, I'll be happy to play on it. People basically already got to play Rockefeller pretty early on. If you have not already, I think I played it only one time. It's basically a very small version of like Arena, except it's just smaller than Arena. But I want to talk about Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy is supposed to be coming out pretty soon, and I do hope that it comes out with next month's like update, which is going to be a huge patch, because we haven't really got anything major. We did get some weapon adjustments and everything, I think about maybe a week back, and honestly I feel like with this patch was amazing. Now it's not enough for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna go and play ranked. Obviously ranked as of right now is pretty unplayable. I would say even for maybe KBM or just in general, just the competitive integrity. I'm dead to that. Wow. Competitive integrity of ranked is pretty much skewed because, well, you can pretty much use everything in your mom's whenever it comes to that fucking mode. So, alright, bro. Search and Destroy, I don't know how they're gonna be able to balance it. And I guess with like old with the casual modes and stuff like that, and that, in casuals you don't really have to worry about balancing because they'll just let you do it. But then what about classes like, the Phantom or whatnot, stuff that does stuff that has like a lot more health and stuff. And I guess that yes, everything has a counterpart to it, but as you can see from like the current balancing that what we have, bruh, Phantom is probably one of, if not the most used classes, and then on top of that is just the most busted class all around. Aside from this class, I'm pretty sure this class is even more busted, but I think this class counters Phantom completely like off the wall. Like you could just get a free bomb in, and sure they'll survive it, but they're pretty much gonna die like the moment that they get hit by it, type shit. But Search and Destroy, honestly, I think that's what a lot of people are pretty much waiting on. I would say myself included, for sure myself included, actually, because it's a new mode, and honestly, it's a different take. I wouldn't say a different take, but it'll be a different spin Why do I keep thinking like it's gonna be a different spin on the mode? I'm gonna be a different spin on the mode. It's the same standard search and destroy, just with abilities. That's what I meant by the spin, you know. I actually don't want this video to be that long, mostly because the only things I really want to talk about is just whenever they're gonna balance the ranked play. Because ranked play, I'm staying completely away. It's just there's no competitive integrity. If it's not competitive integrity, it's just cheaters, you know. And if it's not cheaters, well, it's just, you know, roller. And no one really likes to go against roller on keyboard and mouse. And I get that the whole people want to be like, well, but you have your whole arm and, you know what I'm saying, it's PC. You got to understand when something is aiming for you, regardless of input, and I guess that you guys need it, you know, there can be ways to adjust it and fix it to where it's fair for both inputs. But when it's as strong as you're able to completely aim in midair, and have all this movement and be completely accurate, and the game helping, you know, you do that, it is completely, and I mean utterly unfair. Like, it is just not a fair input to go against. You don't see any tournaments with like mostly crossplay or anything like that on like the higher ends of like the AAA and like shit like that. I get, like, I can argue with like motherfuckers be like, oh, you're arguing with a brick wall, PC's broken or overpowered. It takes so much more longer to get used to PC if you have not like started off on controller. Like me, I started off on controller. I have the most time into controller, but when I went into PC originally, I would say like whenever I was younger, I've played PC, so I've already was like familiar with PC. And by younger, I mean like I was like fucking 8-9 years old playing like shooters, like fucking CS Source and shit. Like 9 years old, bro, saying shit like playing shit like that. Source and 1.6, you know. Like I was playing a lot of like different type of shooters, and I would say mostly flash games is also what I played. But so I ended up just having more of a familiar kind of feel when it came to keyboard and mouse. That's the reason why, you know, for me, it was just pretty much easy. You know, I could just pick up a keyboard and mouse, play it, and play to like the highest, you know, play to like my highest degree. Now, controller, on the other hand, did not take long to learn for me because I'm already familiar with FPSs. I feel like people think like controllers are much more harder because of FPSs. I would say controllers are harder in FPSs, but it's easy to learn compared to like, you know what I mean? Oh my lord, bro, I'm just getting cycled, man. It's gonna be the most neutral game I've ever played in my fucking life. But I would say like controller is way much more easier, especially since we've already had FPSs, you know, mostly for controller that has always been kind of that easy. Like I would say COD, Halo, you know, kind of paved the way for like modern FPSs to be, you know, easier to the FPS scene, the more casual scene, compared to like arena shooters where most PC players have gotten better with movement and just skill wise, and just, you know, like you gotta understand like, okay, well, he's just running. I caught his ass. You ain't running nowhere, my boy. Definitely have an argument about it. It's like, it doesn't matter what bike you ride. I could ride a bike which will be like the keyboard and mouse, but then controllers will have a bike with training wheels on it. You could swear up and down that, oh, it's hard, but you have to understand the game practically is aiming for you. And I would say rotational aim assist at its core right now pretty much is the most busted thing just in any FPS, because it's mostly you aiming with your left stick rather than your right stick. Your right stick kind of helps you guide that aim, but your left stick, is like just moving along strafing pretty much is completely, you know what I mean, just completely just easy. I would say just easy. So, you know, and it's like how that translates into XDefiant. Well, you have recoil smoothing, which is completely, as you're strafing, horizontal is completely nullified. And I'm not saying instantly. Over time, it will as you're shooting. So it will instantly nullify and everything. And then on top of that, you could just jump, aim, strafe, and imagine weapons like the MP7 and just like the ACR, the AK on a controller. It's just super simple, to easy to use because you barely use any of your right stick to just get on target. And this varies on, like, holding cover and stuff like that. And pretty much the only thing as keyboard and mouse can only do is hold cover and kind of bait, controller players into kind of, you know what I mean, taking an angle or taking a peek. But even a lot of times, like, that doesn't really work. Sorry, I didn't really want to go on a complete rant about, keyboard and mouse. I was really gonna just do a whole, I say, video on it, and that was originally my video idea, and stuff like that for it. But honestly, I figured I just merged it in with this one because it kind of does translate to XDefiant really well. Because pretty much XDefiant is just another, this feels like another controller game, and it kind of sucks because the keyboard input feels really good in this game. In fact, I went back to Modern Warfare 3 and I realized how slow it felt. And I'm not saying like movement, I meant like, I don't know what it is about the input, it just feels a tad bit slow. And I think maybe because I was kind of playing a little bit of ground war and then I mixed it in with a little bit of 6v6, and I feel like that kind of gave a little bit of leeway into why it felt a little bit weird. But I don't know, this game really is snappy, it really feels good. I would even say on controller. I played this game on controller before, and it feels good. I don't know why people were saying like the fucking movement was like clunky or whatnot. Like, I never understood why people even said that, or just like, I don't know what people are on about. Sure, it's not as smooth as Call of Duty. A game that's been out for 20 something plus years that is constantly, what I mean, updated by AAA complete devs that just use the same engine and are just borrowing engines and shit like that. It's nothing like that. This is a completely new engine code as well, and it's just, with what we have right now, it's really good. And with this patch 2 as well, it's a really fun game to play. I mean, honestly, like I said, though some fixes can be worked, and I'm pretty sure we will get there. you know I am all for waiting. This game has been out for no more than maybe a good few months. I intend for it to, keep its, player count, its popularity. Even though it may be dwindling, I think it's just the effect of people getting bored because people have played on the same maps, the same modes. And admittedly, I do think that there could have been a little bit more modes that went into XDefiant, but I'm fine with what we have, and I'm fine with taking a break. If you need to take a break, I'm cool with people just hopping on like Call of Duty or just some other game. It doesn't have to be a shooting game. Take a break from XDefiant. You don't have to completely grind the game out. Then you'll just start to complain about little stupid small issues that you've been dealing with for the past couple of months, or if not a couple of weeks, that you've been grinding the game, and then it starts to become a really repetitive thing. Another thing people need to do is just use other guns, use other, factions, because seriously, that's what making this game fun, and it just keeps me from being bored, all the time. But pretty much that's all I really wanted to say in this video, and I just kind of want to get my point across because people think like this game's kind of like dying, and this game's gonna be dead in another month and blah 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 blah. Like, I've been seeing people say like, see, like, I told you so that this game was gonna die, but y'all were the ones saying that it's gonna die in a month, and it's still chugging along. Sure, the viewership on like Twitch or whatever isn't the same or what it used to be, but this game could always turn back around. People are going to be playing it because guess what it is? Guess what the game is? It is a COD alternative, and another shooting game FPS on the scene that does some systems well. People are gonna play. Sure, ranked isn't really the most viable option right now, depending on who you ask, until they actually add some stuff and make some changes. The game as a whole, I can come in, I can play it, I can enjoy it, I can hop off, don't really have to be too mad about some things, and enjoy the game. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave it here. Hopefully the next video, I'm probably gonna take another break depending on how that goes. If not, I'll try to roll something out. There's not a lot going on with XDefiant, so I'm just gonna slowly roll out a little bit of content, and then once the next content drop, I'll be there for it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace.